Hi, how you doing? Sometimes when you do these videos about talking about teams recap when it comes to the draft, you just hope that in a reasonable amount of time they will be able to do it under, certain number of players, maybe keep just the 7. But sometimes this entire division has multiple teams with 10 or more players that they drafted. Long videos to come. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our 2026 draft recap, and we're here in the AFC North, and the team we talk about today is a team that I can't help but feel like you are disappointing us, and I am ashamed. Because, let's be real, you're probably one of the teams that we can safely say that they're going to be good. The question is how good, and 9 times out of 10, it's like, they're good until the very end in the playoffs, when it mattered. And it just feels like, okay, no more coaching. Forget it. We're done. So let's welcome the new Baltimore Raven regime with this incredibly large draft class. Let's talk about the Ravens. Like I said before, the Ravens have a lot of picks. And it's kind of funny for a team that's as good as the Ravens to have this many picks and not feel like, is this a red flag? Is everyone okay? Do I need to do a wellness check? Because usually when you see this many players on one team, it's like, but you weren't in the top 10. You weren't even a top 5 losing team. This is the amount of players see teams for like the Browns, the Jets, the Titans, teams that suck. But no, you said, let's go all in. New head coach, he wants all the fixings, all the toys. So I'm going to do my very best to give credit to all the players that got drafted by the Ravens, by also giving my best I can evaluation on the Ravens. Because like I said, this team should have already hosted a few trophies by now, but they have not. So let's see if this draft class would do. And we'll start with the 14th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens selected Vega Ione, offensive guard, Penn State. Trust me, I will eventually pronounce his real name. Trust me, I have been trying, and I heard it has an abbreviation name of Vega, so I'm going to call him Vega. But trust me, we all will eventually pronounce his name correctly. Just like when Ben Roethlisberger first came to league. I guarantee you, I did not call him Roethlisberger. I call him Roethlisberger. So, we'll eventually learn this young man's name. But right now, he was the best interior offensive line. And like I said, unless this is your team watching your solo, hey, how you doing? Vega was another player that the Buccaneer, because I'm a Buccaneer fan, so I'm very aware of the Buccaneer local community and the draft stocks and the conversation. And Vega was one of those players, kind of similar, surprising, like when Graham Barton was all of a sudden started becoming more and more of a Bucs potential pick. I was like, I don't hate the pick, but once again, we kind of need to sack quarterbacks. And what's funny, I always complain that the Ravens defense just feels like, where's that pass rush? Where's that, get after the quarterback? Where is it? Because I always felt like in the playoffs against better teams with better offensive line, it's like no one is sacking the quarterback. So I really was thinking, oh my God, Reuben Bain Jr. is right there. They're going to get Bain. They're going to get Bain. We're going to get Vega. We're going to be happy, but okay. And then all of a sudden I hear Vega. I'm like, Bain is coming to Tampa? But also, congratulations, Raven. Great pickup. Great. But I've always felt offensive guards are meant to benefit the rushing attack. Derrick Henry has 1,500 yards in his 2 seasons with the Ravens average 16 touchdowns in each season. So Henry is doing his job. So how much better can he be, or can you be? So it's a good pickup. Solid home run hit, no doubt. It just feels like, okay, sure, try it out. It'll probably work wonders, but still is not going to make anybody feel better than what they all thought you were. You are always a Super Bowl contender, and this pick barely moved into any further than you guys already. You guys are like that close to Super Bowl contention. It's going to go from this to this. It's not going to move it. You're still a 95 plus. Go to the second round with a 45th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens selected Zion Young. I thought it was like Yang. Zion Young, edge, Missouri. Another player that was in the conversation, the Buccaneer fans and Buccaneer scouts here in lovely Tampa, Florida. But I really thought the Ravens were going to get Bane because he was right there, and I kind of feel like the Ravens really need to address the pass rush department. But then again, they did get Trey Hendrickson, so I guess maybe they say we don't really need to. But you're putting a lot of investment in a young man who, you know, could have maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe just one good year left. Maybe need to prepare for the future, because we have seen great pass rushers in this league basically become the only reason to stop him is to put literally everyone on the offensive line to block him. And if Trey Hendrickson, as great as he is that guy, then you once again have answered the question of not addressing your pass rush department. I mean, maybe if you got Max Crosby too, have Trey and Max. TJ Maxx. No. But you got Young. A very athletic. I'm getting Tryon Shoyinka vibe for it, and that's not a good thing. But the similar kind of like, very thinner built than most edge rushers, long arms, great speed, 6'6", 262. So his height kind of hinder away how heavy he is. This was another pick where I feel like for Ravens fans, and me acting as one, we need to address the pass rush department somehow. And Zion was there. I mean, Raven fans, how do you guys feel about, last year's pickup, Mike Green? How do you guys feel about him? He got 3.5 sacks. Do you guys feel good about him at all? So, I don't know. Maybe we need more time to develop. But definitely, yeah, you need to address it. Then we go to the third round with the 80th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens selected Jacoby Lane, wide receiver, USC. Raven fans, are you happy with your receiving core? I feel like Zay Flowers is obviously your best wide receiver, but I don't see him number one wide receiver. He's not Mike Evans. He's not Jamar Chase. He's not a Justin Jefferson. He's not Amani St. Brown. Like, he doesn't have that. He is the Ravens' number one receiver, but he's not number one receiver league-wise. He's valuable, yes. Definitely a great acquisition. But he just feels like, at best, a B-plus number two receiver compared to the other number one wide receivers out there. Yeah, Zay is great, but has Bateman really been what you thought? I mean, it's been consistent that, Mark Andrews has been the go-to wide receiver, and he's a tight end for the guy. Represent the 8-9 here. So, I guess getting another wide receiver is not completely hopeless, but it just feels like you're yelling into an empty void, or you're just throwing like a rock down a well. It's like, it might hit, but there's a good chance that it might disappear into the void of the other wide receivers. They currently have Lane at the number 2 wide receiver in the second depth chart, behind Flowers, Bateman, and Walker. So I don't know. Maybe he can do something, but a lot of it is still that I kind of feel like, as effective Zane is, I still feel like he's very underutilized compared to. Let me look at his stats from last year. Yeah, 86 receptions, 12 yards, 5 touchdowns, 14 yards average. Not bad, not bad. For a 5'9", 183 wide receiver. So, he did everything himself. And looking at Bateman's stats, 19 receptions, 224 yards.
We'd be stranded for hours.
So, yeah. So hopefully this acquisition of this USC wide receiver, which, let me look at his intangibles here quickly. 6'4", 200 pounds. So, there you go. There's your big buddy wide receiver. Now, granted, he was also at USC where Makai Lemon was, so let's hopefully that he did not just get hidden away in the darkness of the depth chart of Makai Lemon's successful season last year. But 6'4", 200, good. You are addressing a big target wide receiver, and a best case scenario, he becomes your 50-50 ball kind of guy. That might be your best bet. Or he disappears into the void of wide receivers in Baltimore. And we're not done with wide receivers anyway. Going to the 4th round with the 115th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Elijah Sherritt, wide receiver, Indiana. Now, because of Indiana's success, we got a lot of attention of this young man from wide receiver. We all know that Omar Cooper Jr. was the number 1 wide receiver, but let's not give disrespect credit to Sherritt, as he did his job very well. Comes in at 6'2", 210, solid, crisp, route running wide receiver. I probably like him a little bit more than Lane, mainly because Lane had Makai Lemon, Beltacoff Award winner. Hard to be at least a good solid number 2 wide receiver when your number 1 is that nth level. Sherritt with Amari Cooper Jr. and company, and of course Mendoza and his Heisman, campaign, he did his part and did very well. So to me, I feel like Sherritt had been more of a contributor to Indiana's success than Makai Lemon being so good by himself. That doesn't mean that Lane can't be good, but I'm going to give Sherritt more acknowledgement that, well, he did do his job. As successful as Omar Cooper Jr. was, but he did his job well. And quite frankly, I think he did that last year too, so let's see. But he's the one I am probably more excited to see in the wide receiver department from rookies compared to Lane. Then we go, still in the 4th round, with the 133rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Matthew Hibner, tight end, SMU. Okay, so Mark Andrews is getting older. I can understand the desire to address potentially, but behind Edwards, okay, yeah, likely left, and Andrews, is reaching the dreaded age of 30. Now, do I believe that he's coming in to be his air replacement? No. I think it's because, like before, they lost another valuable tight end, so the likely, no pun intended, but likely, and Andrews being the 1-2 punch tight end is now a one-man show, and, well, Durham Smith was the tight end they got from Miami. It was drafted by the Dolphins, but now he is with the Ravens. He's another 30-year-old man. So, yeah, youthfulness and potential heir to likely in the fact that we just need another playmaking tight end to go with it. Now, this is a whole new regime of coaching staff, so maybe a tight end system may not work, but just still addressing the tight end due to the fact that we lost the tight end kind of felt more, we're not replacing the player, we're replacing the position by adding a position that we lost. That's what I believe they're doing. Now, that doesn't mean he cannot do his job well. I'm just saying that he doesn't have to force to be in his job well. Andrew is still there and Smith is still there, so he's fine. Develop, learn, maybe get some reps here and there. We'll see. Still going down to the 5th round with the 162nd overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens selected Chandler Rivers, cornerback, Duke. Now, secondary was top 2 when it came to the Ravens' needs. And I would assume pass rusher was the number one need. Because I thought with Humphreys and Hamilton and Wiggins, I thought they were pretty solid in the secondary side. But according to ESPN Draft.com, they said biggest needs is corner and safety. Out of the 5 major positions, those were the top 2. Okay, you sure? You sure? I don't know. Maybe the pass rush wasn't there, so the secondary was more exposed. But I just feel like really Wiggins, Hamilton, and Humphrey didn't make you feel good about it. Now that doesn't mean that they're bringing in Chandler in to be a day one starter. No, no, no. But it just kind of feels like. So he's in rotation. Probably make his splashes on special teams, and they currently have him in the nickelback side right behind Humphrey. And Humphrey has been very valuable, but he is reaching the age of dreaded 29, which means he's almost 30, which means he's almost retirement age, which means his Social Security checks is going to bounce if he doesn't retire soon. No. But it's just a precautionary. More than likely, he'll be getting rotation opportunities and contribute on special teams. The life of a DB going to the NFL. Unless you're a day one, draft pick, more than likely, you're going to make your mark on special teams as just a pure athletic young man. And sometimes that's why I feel envious of defensive backs of every level, because I always feel like if you can play the position well, you are probably better than most athletes in general. You got to predict, adapt, speed, catch, tackle, read the defense. I'm not talking about illiterateness. I'm just like read the offense. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you get a gold star if you can trash talk well. Because I believe every defensive back must learn the power of trash talking. It's psychological warfare to your wide receivers. I think that's crucial. I can't, so I don't talk. Still in the 5th round with the 173rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Joshua Kuvas, tight end, Alabama. Now, I believe he will be that. Let me double check, make sure it's the same. Yeah, I believe this is the same guy that I think so. Yeah, give me a few seconds. I'm trying. There's a lot of players that sometimes I don't remember the names, but I know it's sure as damn well I can recognize if I see him in the jersey number. Okay, all right. So not the same guy. I thought maybe they'll probably use him as like a halfback, fullback, tight end blocker, to potentially open the running lane. But then again, you got Derrick Henry, so basically you don't really need to be in his way. Just block your guy and just don't be in his way, because he will literally run you over. Friendly fire is off when he's running. So I guess, getting Matthew earlier, now you're getting Josh now. Your first 2 tight ends are in the 30s, like literally at 30. So maybe this is just an investment for the future. Check it out, see what happens. No pressure. I mean, remember, Mark Andrews wasn't considered that great when he got drafted. He worked his butt. It actually was Hurst from South Carolina, I believe, the tight end. He was a first-round pick, too. I think it was number 32 or 31st overall. Like, he was that. And Andrews wasn't. And Andrews became the guy. Funny story how the world works. So, investment for the future. I'll take it. Then, literally the next pick. With the 174th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Adam Randall, running back, Clemson. Okay, Henry doesn't have much for this world. Not because he's dying, because, well, he is running back. And, I mean, the amount of yards he has done his 2 years with Baltimore is like saying, I am doing my job. What are you doing? So, at worst case, this is just situational speaking for the future. But best case for the young man is maybe they'll keep Henry longevity for crucial situations more. But then again, once Derrick Henry goes away, we have seen multiple experts, multiple analysts talk about in situations, why on goal line, why in the red zone, why in short yard, why is Derrick Henry not on the field? Well, because everyone's going to predict he's going to get the ball. Then you do a play action. Or How many people can stop Derrick Henry? He is literally the juggernaut. Bitch. Okay, I did the meme. For those of you who don't know about it, don't worry about it. You're too young to know. But, so, I don't know. Adam Randall's probably meant for the future, but a worst case scenario, just rotation to give Derrick Henry some, rest. That's all I can really think of for this one. As long as Derrick Henry stays healthy, the rest of you guys on running back are there just to keep up when he gets tired. And Derrick Henry is a machine. I don't think he gets tired. I think he literally dislodged the word tired from his mental vocabulary. Have you seen this man's workout videos? Jesus Christ, he's not human. Then we go to the 6th round with a 211th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens selected Ryan Eckley, punter, Michigan State. Okay, this is an easy one. I said it before, and I'll say it again for those who are new to my channel. Hey, welcome, how you doing? I'm glad you're watching. When you are a punter, a kicker, or a long snapper in this level of football, unless something drastic happens, no team will ever use a pick, whether they have 10 or 7, on a punter, a kicker, or a long snapper if they're not going to be the starter. Think about it. Think about it logically. Why would they waste a pick on a position that most teams have won? You can draft an extra quarterback when you have a quarterback. You can draft 3 running backs, 2 offensive guards, 6 linebackers. You can do all that because you need all that. But when it comes to a punter and a kicker, those valuable draft picks, I don't care if you have 20 or 2, unless you're going to say he is being drafted to be the starter. Seriously, if you're drafted as a long snapper, a punter, or a kicker, you are a starter. Even quarterbacks sometimes need time to be like, well, let's wait and see. But you're a kicker, punter, long snapper, you're there to take over the void that was missed. So, congratulations, Ryan. You're the starting Ravens punter. And if he's not, then I'm going to scream from the rooftop and say, why waste a draft pick on him if he's not going to be the starter? Moving on. 7th round. With a 250th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Rashad Benny, defensive tackle, Michigan. Ravens run a 3-4 defense. Let's see. Calais Campbell is still playing. Okay. Let's see. They have Benny. Where they have you, Benny? I do not see him in the depth chart. Or the depth chart. Jenkins, Robinson, Rokon, Wiggins, Brock. Huh. I don't see his name. I guess it didn't update. Unless, let me double check here. Did I misplace Benny? No, according to NFLDraft.com, Benny is a defensive tackle for Michigan. But I don't see him in the mock depth chart anywhere. I see, yep, I'm looking again. I do not see him. So, we're just gonna speculate. He is 6'3", 298. Travis Jones is the starting nose tackle for him. He's 26 years old, so I doubt they'll probably put him in. A little lighter and a little bit, heavy. He's heavier than Benny, so I'm going to say that probably projecting Benny to be the defensive end in the 3-4 defensive schemes. So, don't see his name there, but I'm going to speculate that's probably where his destiny is. Not nose guard, but interior defensive end for a 3-4 defense. Make your mark and make your mark on preseason and work your way up. Good luck to you, buddy. Finally, the last pick. Like I said, there's a lot. In the 7th round, 3 picks later, funny enough, with a 253rd overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens selected Evan Bernstein, offensive guard, Northwestern. I hope I pronounced that name right. So they, like I said, they addressed the offensive guard position here. Where are they going to move Evans? They're moving Evans to the right guard position behind John Simpson and Emory Jones Jr. Okay, Future development. Let me take a look at his intangibles. Like I said, just because you're a late round pick. 6'3", 301, tons of game experience. Cool. He transferred from South Dakota State, one of the better, smaller school programs, to this level. So I would say that's pretty cool. Still top 20 in his position class. Not bad. Not bad for a late round pick. Clearly meant for development, probably for the future. Probably get a lot of reps in preseason. We'll see what he can do. But this feels like a solid investment. I always appreciate the players that get drafted, regardless when, if they spend time at a smaller school. Even if Division 1A, if you were to play like at South Alabama and then you go play at Alabama and you get drafted in the 6th round, I still appreciate you went from a smaller program school level competition to that one and you still thrived in. Even more so if you go from FBS or Division 2A or whatever to Division 1A. I appreciate it even more. It showcased they're able to take on the next level and thrive, which showcased that this NFL is the next level, and we believe, according to your track record, you will thrive because you thrive in higher level competition, young man. So I look forward to seeing Evan do his thing. Oh, and that is the Ravens. Okay. Player I'm most excited about. There's a lot of players I'm excited about, but the one I'm probably the most, I'm going to give it to Elijah, wide receiver from Indiana. He did a lot. He was a big factor contributing to Indiana. It wasn't just the Amari Cooper one-man show. Mendoza saving the day. He had to rely on wide receivers, and they did their job. And he has been successful in the end, not just because of last year, but before. So to me, he is the one I'm most excited about because I really believe he will probably be the good possession receiver, crisp route running in between the linebackers and linemen. But Zay Flower is still going to be that home run hitter again. He's still going to be that guy that catches the ball in space and take off. Elijah will be that perimeter possession receiver. Grade for the Ravens. Last year was a fluke and things got changed. Even this draft class with a lot of players, there's still some good diamonds in here and some future investments for the next 2 or 3 years on the line, even if we might not see them. Ravens are still contenders. I cannot dissuade it. I cannot argue it. They're still contenders. And this draft class, as young as they are, and as many as they are, I don't see this even remotely just stagnating to their standards. The Ravens should have been in the playoffs last year, not because of the missed kick, but the Ravens were clearly a much more competent team, but whatever happened led them not to be. So to me, contenders, good for you. Let's move on, and that's the Ravens. We're continuing down this very, very, very full AFC North, and we're going to go to Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're going to go talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is back, so good. I'm glad I took my time getting to this team's review. But that'll be for next time, guys. And until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.